In this webcast with Antoine, I'm going to show Julia Curry how to grow thousands of followers in her Instagram account. Let's go. Today, I got Julia Curry, and I'm super excited about that. Hi, Julia.
Hello, nice to be here.
Cool. So Julia posted something again on Facebook, and she was dealing with she had questions more, and dealing with frustration with Instagram. And I offered her to do a webcast, which we're doing right now, and to kind of like uncover what she's up to, what she's trying to do, and whatnot. So we can probably give her some tips on how to do it better, and then hopefully you'll get some insights for yourself. So Julia, why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you do and what you're up to so we get a sense of that?
Sure. I'm an eating psychology coach, so I help people with their body image challenges, food challenges. I work with men and women alike, and I always say the simplest way is to help them get out of food and body prison. So I really love this work, but I want to continue to expand out into, the virtual world. I do a lot of my coaching virtually now. I've just started an online class this past year, but I want to expand that more. And now I'm a professional speaker. So, I just want to learn how to connect, how to grow my business. I'm things to invite people to, but I don't know how to get to know those people out there,
Yeah.
So Instagram is something I just tried just very casually. I have no clue how people grow it. It seems like I've been, at about 290 followers for the longest time.
Yeah.
And another thing I'll say about myself is I have a hard time with, how do you say it? Inauthentic marketing, right? Just the stuff that feels kind of,
Very cool. Very
so
cool.
I want it to be in a way that feels authentic, real, fun, playful.
But that's the only thing that's the good news, is that's the real only thing that works. So, if you don't like that, this is, really, really awesome. So the thing that I want to tell everybody is actually Julia and I met at Heroic Public Speaking with Michael and Amy Port. So this is how we've known each other. And she was training herself to be a public speaker, and I was doing the same thing. And I actually saw her on stage, doing a presentation. I think it's an amazing topic. So I'm really delighted I can be of help and spreading your message, because I think you have something important to say. So that's really my pleasure to help you and whatnot. So talk to me a little bit about your frustration. I mean, you covered a little bit about Instagram, but give me a rundown, because there's something you were talking about, buying followers. So tell me about a couple of things that you've done, have heard, of seen, that is kind of I don't know about that Instagram.
So what happened, Antoine, is that there was somebody that I kind of knew, and I noticed all of a sudden I'm getting all these responses from this person who typically wouldn't respond to me that often. And I'm thinking, well, wow, that's interesting. I wonder why they're following me constantly and having something awesome to say about everything I post all of a sudden. So I just thought that was a little interesting. And I go look something up about that, and just about followers and how that works, because it just seemed suspect to me. Mm-hmm. And that's where I opened up and it said, I talked about bots and all this stuff. I'm like, what? And I was like, I'm getting botted constantly. And I had been spending time responding to all these bots all this time.
Right.
That just felt kind of discouraging to me a little bit. And It felt like something I didn't want to do. But that's the question you saw. I'm like, how do you even know if people are doing this? And that's not a way I want to grow.
No.
I thought engagement could be more just real.
Yeah, it is actually. It's real. That's how it's done. So that's awesome, because I think that there's a lot of people, should I buy followers, or what is all this thing, and what are all these bots? And there's quite a lot of people that are doing this. And the truth of the matter is that's not how it works. This is not how any of this works, and it's never going to work. You're going to be able to gain the system. You're going to be able to maybe gain some traction. But at the end of the day, Instagram is about what we're doing right now. It's communication. it's engagement between one person and the other. The issue is the scalability of it, which has to do with the number of hours you're going to dedicate to it and really plunge and engage with people one-on-one. So let me actually give you some tips, right? So at least, here's what I would do as an agency. Here's what I would do with someone's account. The first thing you need to know is that the quality of the creative is the key. So really what's important is you have quality creative. And that's not always easy if you're not a graphic designer, if you're not a professional photographer, if you're not a professional videographer. But you have to understand that at the end of the day on Instagram, actually on everything, but specifically on Instagram, the quality of the content is key, right? So that's the thing. So you have to learn that skill. Yeah, this is a skill that you have to learn. So I would look into taking photography classes. I would look at taking video, how to create videos for myself. There's tons of classes that are available to you. So I would really polish that skill. How can I learn that? There's courses online. There's tons of resources, but spend some time. Or you can hire someone to do that for you, right? This is a possibility. Obviously, it's money versus time. You either have one or the other. Usually, you don't have both. So if you have time, then learn it. If you have money, then hire someone to do it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please jump in.
Okay, so with pictures, is it true that you can have quality pictures with just your phone? Or do you feel that you need a real camera?
No, you can actually do it with your phone.
Okay.
You can absolutely do it. I mean, I have the Samsung S7, and I'm about to upgrade it to an S8 tomorrow, and I'm so excited. But the S8, the S6, the 6, 7, and 8 series in Samsung or iPhone are absolutely amazing. I have filmed entire 3-4 minutes video with my phone. The quality is staggering. I mean, you can do it. Should you upgrade to a camera eventually, or in addition to? I would recommend that. But there's actually there's a photographic center right here in downtown West Palm Beach, and they have a course on how to do great photography with your iPhone. They actually are teaching that course. So there is a course that you can take to learn how to be a better photographer with what you've got. So you don't need a professional camera, but there are some skills that you should learn. And I would, if you're going to explore Instagram, especially because it is about the quality of the creative, I would highly recommend that. The second thing I want to tell you about is video content versus picture content. Now, I researched a little bit. I would highly recommend, here is what's the truth, is that I think that we want to consume more video content than actually reading content. All the data is saying that that's so, except for right now for Instagram. It looks like pictures are getting more engagement than videos, but I think that this is going to change. So if I were you, I would kind of like mix it up. I would kind of like have half and half, have video content, have picture content, and that would be my recommendation. Again, the quality of the creative is really important. So I mean, I like the fact that you're putting selfies, you put some videos, they're authentic, it's raw, it's you. But it's just like, how could I elevate that? How could I make that better each and every time? By the way, one of the things that I tell people when they're in this world, you have to allow yourself to suck at first. Right? We all suck before we are good, right? So it's just like, people say, well, I don't know if I'm good enough. And I'm like, yeah. And you know what? It's like, Michael Jordan's first 100 basket would probably be hitting the wall, right? So just allow yourself to, to suck for a while and then learning the thing. What do you got to lose? I mean, you got 290 followers. When you have 1 million followers and you post a crappy video or crappy picture, you're going to get tons of shit for it. But right now, you know what I mean? It's like, is there a better timing to do that? Which, by the way, when you have 1 million followers, you'll probably have 2 people on staff full time just doing that. Right? So you don't have to worry, right? So, and it's kind of like, so you don't have to worry about that. Allow yourself to suck. At worst, you got 290 followers. They'll be like, whoa, that wasn't so good. And like, move on, right? So I have done plenty of those posts, and allow yourself to do that. So video content is is my take. The third thing is, remember that the format is square, right? So it is a square format, which is not the case for YouTube, for example, which is a rectangular, right? Facebook is square too, although you can do rectangular, but really ultimately what we're going towards, we're going to a square format. So if you're putting a video, by the way, and you're putting in the original format, you're losing some of the real estate of the phone you will have unless you have a square piece of content. So that's really important. The size, by the way, is 612 by 612. So I'll put that in the video, but just in case you want to know and you want to reduce it, but square is the thing. Now, hashtag, that is one that is important. Now you see it sometime and I'm like, my eyes are like, what were they thinking, right?
I have no clue what I'm doing with the hashtags.
Right. So it is awesome. So I looked actually at that earlier, and eating psychology coach, body image, movement. So the first thing I did right here. Here's one of the things, and I asked you that before the thing. What are you doing with the hashtag? Are you making them up or they were researched? And you told me, no, I'm making them up. I'm like, okay, stop doing that. Let's do some research, and let me show you how you actually do it. So you can pull it up on the screen. I mean, if you want to use a phone, which is like write down my phone, we'll do that after, and you can put a hashtag right there. But we'll do it on the screen because it's actually kind of easier to do the research right then and there on your laptop or your Mac or whatever you've got. So I'm going to do hashtag, and I'm going to type body, and then I'm going to put it not in all caps because I don't need that. Body. And what I'm seeing right here, which is body image, what you have, and I'm seeing like all the hashtag, and it's telling me underneath the number of posts associated with that hashtag. I think that's mildly important. Right? So you have body positive. Does that sound good for you? Bodybuilding, does that sound any good? Not really. Body goals, body paint, body love. Body positivity, 854,000 posts. Let's look at body positivity. So we're going to go there. And what we're seeing, actually, so here's one of the things I remember I talked to you about it, and sometimes you look at something and you're like, whoa, what am I getting here? So I'm getting some butts and boobs, right? So I'll say that sometime you'll put, by the way, if you do body only, you're going to see all boobs and butts and all kinds of weird stuff, right? But right now, actually, what this is, it's actually a girl, and I looked at it earlier. It's actually her showing her in her bathing suit, in the summer bathing suit, and owning a body. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. I have a big butt and I don't care, right? So I'm like, okay, this is not sexual in nature, which is not what you're doing. So if you're seeing things that are sexual, they're completely, they're not aligned with who you are as a brand. You're like, that's not going to be a good fit. Let me look for another hashtag. But I think that you got a girl here showing herself. By the way, if you put your mouse over it, you can see that she's got 7,000 likes. This one's got 2,900 likes. She's got 2,700. So these people actually right here have a lot of followers. So at the top, it shows you the top post for that specific hashtag, and underneath it just shows you recent, right? So you can actually look at that. And here is what I would do. And I looked at her earlier, so I'm going to stake on her. 1,772 likes, and she's got 15 comments. Let's look at her. And then if I click on that, it puts her picture, and I can see that it's not sexual. It's more kind of like her owning a lingerie. But let me look at her posting. So I'm seeing her in lingerie here. It's a little bit risque, right? But then I'm seeing then after that is just like, that's not who she is. It's not about risque, it's about her and whatnot. So I'm seeing, okay, that's a possibility. And let me look at her. So first of all, she's got 36,000 followers. So here's what I was telling you before when we talked. You have 290 followers, right? So if you engage with someone on Instagram, if you engage with Allie, she's got 36,000 followers. How do you think she's going to view you?
Small potatoes.
Small potatoes. You got that right. However, she is not a 250,000 or 500,000 followers. So she is a little bit out of your league, a little bit, a lot, but not completely out of your league, right? There is a possibility, I think, in my opinion, she would be okay to engage. You could go and start to engage. She possibly could be a good fit, right? She may not respond to you. She may say zero interest and whatnot. So we can look at others. Let's look at
And
this.
Antoine, are you going to talk about, you've talked about, being an asset to other people, being a benefit to them. How can I serve them? Having that kind of mentality.
Yeah, that's why.
Are you going to share a little bit more about how to engage? Because when you first said that to me, I'm like, what would I say to people?
Right,
I love the work I do. I love to be a benefit to people and I love to help people, but I don't know how to do it in that world.
Right. So I'm going to show you that. So here I'm looking at another one. So here is like something that may not be a good fit at all because it's all about fitness. She's showing her abs. It's all about, there's a lot of, what I would say butt shots there. It might not be a good thing. She's got 271 followers. So this one is completely out of your league, right? First of all, I don't think it's a good fit in terms of image, but it might. There's just things that are, she's out of your league, got way too many followers to be interested in you, and it might not be a good fit in terms of creative and what she's about. By the way, you can read all about Courage to Be You, mental health advocates, YouTuber athletes. You can look at her videos. You can look at her website. You can look at her geography. You can look at a whole bunch of stuff before you make that decision. But basically what we looked at is two types of people. Now, it takes me to what you just asked about, is how do you engage? So I'm going to have to bring my phone in order to do that. And let's put body here. Right, so we're going to do body positive. I don't know. We were looking at body positive, right? So you're going to see body positive, and we're going to pick. Let's just pick this girl here, and SoCal Summer. She's just showing her, her belly that is, less than tight. She's kind of like owning her body, so that could be a good fit. Let's just say that everything about her is really a good fit, and you say, you know what, I want to engage with her. Here's how you do it. You actually go in a profile, you just click right there, and then you can send what is called a DM, a direct message, right? Here is where the mistake of what a lot of people are doing is that they're going to go and engage someone, and they're going to ask right away. They're going to ask for something back, right? What I think you need to do is you need to offer. So you need to offer something. You need to be of service. How can I help you? Like, what can I do for you?
Can you give me some examples of
I could say, like, first of all, you have a speech. So I'd be willing to speak for free at one of your events.
Okay.
Right. So that's something. What do you have for free? I have a book. I want to give it to you for free. I have a video. Can I create a video for you? Could I, you could look at their profile. If you look at their profile, they're talking to kids. Listen, I have a great message for kids. Would you, if I created a 60-second video of myself, like talking to audience, would that be something that would be interesting for you? You basically are giving something. What most majority of people are doing out there is they're going for the kill immediately. Can you connect? Like, can you follow me? Or can you go like my page? Or I want to speak, like, let's hook up or register for my event. Like, they're just asking, and it's just like, I don't know you, especially when you're dealing with someone that has 10,000 followers. They're going to say, like, who are you? You're not offering anything to me. Like, be of service. Like, what can I do for you? Right? I have a great message, and you can say, listen, you can, say who you are. I have an amazing message. I've been working for the last 12 months on a speech that makes a huge difference with kids. And I would love the opportunity to share that with some of your audience free of charge. I won't charge anything. Now, obviously, you got to look at the geography, right? If that person is in Australia, well, that means you have to fly to Australia. I'll try to pick someone that at least within, if that person, like 20,000 followers, they are at an event, they're going to have maybe 300-400 people at that event. They're going to it. This is, well, we're looking for speakers. They may look at there. You could have your reel, your video, and you're saying, wow, Julia could be a good fit. That's how you do it. You just went to that person. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just offering myself as a service, and I'd be willing to fly. Now, would it be worth it to you if that person said, well, we actually have a great event in New York in October, and we were looking for speakers, and it looks like you'd be a great fit. Would you be willing to go over there for free? Would it be worth your time? Would you do it?
Right.
Yeah, maybe you could. Ideally, it would be better that you get paid, but you're gonna get paid once you have 20,000, 25,000 followers, right? So, or 50,000 followers when you start to have the follow. Right now, you're in the building of all. So the only thing you can actually do at 290 followers is offer help. Don't ask for anything. You don't have the leverage. They have the leverage. You don't.
Yes.
Right? So be of service until you have 25, 50,000 followers. Then you can start to ask for stuff. Then you can go to brand. Then you can go to a conference and say, I have 50,000 followers and your conference would be a great fit for me. I'd love to have the opportunity to speak there. That's a different thing. Now you're asking. Now you're connecting differently. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
And by the way, you have to do that hundreds of times because SoCal Summer may not respond to you. So you have to, in your day, I would say, I would block at least a couple of hours. There's a matter of fact, every time you have free time, you should go in there and engage and ask and just connect and offer and connect and find more people and just keep on doing it until someone responds and say, yeah, actually, that's interesting. Right? So, and by the way, if that person connects you to their audience, 25,000 people or even 10,000 followers, now all of a sudden your content is from 10,000. Do you think that will have an impact in the number of people that are going to follow you?
Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt,
Absolutely.
right? So how do you grow your fan base? Well, you never ever buy followers. What I say, if every time you buy followers, a puppy dies, right? So that's the thing. Don't do it, right?
Don't kill the puppies.
Don't kill the puppies. Don't do it, right? And just really learn how to biz dev. Like search for people, do the search, right, with the hashtag, and then don't ask. Again, you have zero leverage. So that's really how you biz dev, and the key thing here, and I know that some people are hearing it out there, is like, oh my God, it sounds like super time consuming, and the answer is yes, it's super time consuming. And remember one thing: you either have money or you have time. You generally don't have both. Right? If you have both, it's great. Like if you have tons of time and tons of money, hire people and everything. But that's what I would have if I had an intern, if you had an intern, or if you could hire someone full-time to develop that for you, which would be, $15-20 an hour. You teach them, that's what I want you to do, 7 hours a day. Work for people, engage, rinse, repeat. Find people, they're a good fit, engage, offer something, rinse, repeat, on and on and on and on and on. This is how you're going to be doing your base. Now, one of the things that's interesting also in following is you can actually do that same stuff. You're in Chicago, right? Or is Chicago close to you?
Indianapolis area.
There you go, Indianapolis. So you can actually, another thing that's amazing is you can actually search locally. All the people that have checked in Indianapolis. So now, again, I have all kinds of stuff, a lot of stuff about sports. Did you guys have sports in Indianapolis? No, it's a bad joke. It's a Dolphins joke. Never mind. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Yeah, Miami Heat and Dolphins. Never mind. All right. You can look at these guys. Like, who is she about? What does she do? In diary, let's look at there. She's got 1,648 followers. Well, that's decent. That's a little bit more than you, right? That's actually 6 times more or 5 times more than you. We love our 1,200 dairy farm. She's got a dairy farm. You could look at, it's a good fit. No, it's a dairy farm. What the heck am I going to do with dairy farm? Makes no sense. So this is another thing where you could actually search locally. So that technique, by the way, is for anyone that want to grow their business locally. Like if you want to grow your business in Indianapolis, then I would, certainly look at that. By the way, for yourself, that may be one of the hashtag Indianapolis. You don't
Yeah.
geographically own your space. And then the by the way, the rule that I like is 5 to 10 hashtags. I see sometimes I see like 40 hashtags and I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, right. Or,
Do you feel they should be in the comment section rather than under the picture? Do you have a feeling about that?
no, you can have that directly in the in the first in the description of the picture right there. I mean, right there, she's got two of them: winners drink milk and FRL. So let's look at that. It's actually interesting. And how many posts it has? I don't even know. So it's got 10,736 public posts, including her. So I don't even know what FRL is. It means something to her. And winners drink milk. Could possibly, yeah, it's got 1,727 posts. So it's a very bad choice of hashtag, because now the people within that realm are actually finding that, as opposed to maybe drink milk. I mean, we could look at
Yeah.
that. I mean, if I would here, let me do. That's a perfect example here. Here, let's search for something. So let's put milk. Actually, let me put hashtag MILK. Now it's going to tell me everything. So milk's got 5 million posts: milkshake, milk and honey, milk bath, milk whey, milka, milky, milk and Oreo, milka Oreo. So you milk tea. I mean, you look at all kinds of stuff. Milkman, milk cow, milkman has got posts. So 70,000. Milking, which may not be a good thing, but it's like, obviously milk would be a much better
Milk's got it
hashtag
going
for them.
on.
Right, and we can look at what milk is and look at that. I mean, obviously you get one that's kind of like weird here, a woman showing her breast, so you always have something weird. But overall, it's a good fit, like a whole bunch of
Yeah.
stuff about, milk and cows and stuff. I'm like, well, that's where they should be. Their hashtag, I mean, unless listen, you don't own a hashtag. The hashtag is owned by the world. So I would say I'd put my content. By the way, milk, the same thing for you. You want to look for hashtags that are not so freaking huge that you have a sea of content there. But you want one find that's within your realm. 250, 500,000 posts within a hashtag. That would be a good fit. I mean, you could pick some that have millions, but just pick things that are within the realm that makes sense for you. You need to spend the time to kind of look at, are the people engaging with that hashtag a good fit for me? Okay. Am I a good fit to them? And is this a good fit to me?
Okay.
Right?
And and remind me, how many did you say? About five hashtags?
I would say 5 to 10.
5 to 10. And do they need to be the same hashtags? Do they need to, or do they change according to the picture?
No, I would use this. I would use well, you could have a hashtag that is consistent with the picture. Right. Okay. So one hashtag that is like, okay, I'm hashtagging that picture and what that means to me. I'm going to take her away, by the way, and go back to your thing, like, food freedom coach. You could say, okay, I'm going to have one hashtag that's, food freedom, or, food coach, right? Which would be like always, every single picture I have food coach, because I am a food coach, right? So I'm always inside of that. And then you could have one, this one could be selfie time. And then after that, I would say I would have the same hashtag that are within the strategy of who I'm trying to communicate to.
Okay. That's
right. So
interesting.
stay with there, like, find those 5 to 10 hashtags that are a good fit for you. You're a good fit for them, and it's a good fit for you. And then I would use that over and over and over again. Like, for example, Michael Port, which we know in common, would public speaking be relevant at each and every post he has?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what he is about, right?
Yep.
Now, obviously, if he's boating with Amy, public speaking might be, what the heck? Like, it doesn't make sense. But if it's always within the context of what he's doing professionally, like, yeah, public speaking, it's going to be a good fit every time. And then there's going to be like, okay, so it's show time or rehearsing time. And, there's going to be the hashtag that is appropriate to what that picture is about. And then have several hashtags that are consistent within that world, where I'm positioning myself to be within that world, right?
Yeah. That makes
All right.
sense.
All right, cool. So I showed you about search locally. Now, the thing that I would do and I talk to you about that not enough people are willing to do, but I think you absolutely unequivocally have to do is advertising. Let me explain to you why. Is because with 290 followers, the chances of you reaching a wide audience, the chances of you to reaching all 290 followers is very unlikely. The stats shows that it's about 3 to 5% organic reach, right? So you're going to be seen by about 10, 15 people at the most, like
Wow.
at
See,
the
and I
most.
had no idea. I had
Right.
no idea.
There is better time, there is better days to post them, and I think you need to do your research, for you, and
Yeah.
and some people post on Sundays, and some people post, always on Monday at that time, and all this is trickery. What makes a difference is having a good post, good quality, and then target it appropriately. But there's obviously better time than others. Like 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday might not be the best time, right? It's just going to be actually the worst time ever to put a post, as opposed to 6:30, 7 a.m. on Monday morning. Everybody is in the train and the bus. They're waking up, they're looking at their thing. So this is the time where you're going to have the highest reach. But remember one thing, you and the hundreds of thousands of other people that are also posting stuff, right? So Instagram has to make a decision. Am I showing Julia's picture or am I showing Antoine's picture? Because I don't have time for both. See, when I'm going on Instagram's job is to give me the best possible content possible for Antoine. It wants me to have a good experience because it wants me to come back over and over again. So what it's going to do is it's going to look for the best possible pictures for Antoine. So it's going to look at number of engagement, number of likes, number of comments, and it's going to put those pieces of content. It's going to have a preferred, like it's going to look at pieces of content I've engaged in the past. So it's like, oh, Antoine systematically engages with Julia's pictures, so we'll serve that. It's a safe bet. He wants to see that. But if I've never liked your content, I'm not going to see it, right? I mean, that's just that's their job. Like, people have to understand that at Instagram and Facebook and all of them, they know they have you for a limited amount of time. As much as we think we're spending 24/7 on Instagram, the truth of the matter, we don't. Like, I don't know how much time you're spending on Instagram just browsing, but let's just say, let's cap it at let's just cap it at an hour. Let's just say 60 minutes a day, right? You are in between the morning, 30 minutes, and then in the evening, 30 minutes, and let's just cap it at an hour. So during that hour, there's going to be a number of posts you're going to see. And let's call those posts, let's say, 60 minutes. Let's say there's going to be 120 posts. So you're seeing one every 30 seconds that you're engaging in. I'm just throwing out numbers. So it knows it only has 120 posts that you actually are going to consume. Like, let's even call that 150 or 200 pieces of content. So there's only 200 pieces of content you're going to be able to consume during that time frame. Their job is to put the best content. And guess how many posts they have available to them? Millions.
How many?
Millions. Absolutely, hundreds of thousands of posts that they could actually feed you. And inside of that, they're going to have to narrow and give you the best one, right? I mean, you're following 333 people. So, they're going to be feeding you some of that content plus some of the sponsored content, which actually are getting more and more and more. You're seeing more and more sponsored content, right? Because, well, they're going to give priority to people that are actually paying, which leads me to what I think you should be doing if you want to grow, is to actually consider advertising. Advertising on Instagram. And it's actually still very cheap. I would consider right now for you a budget of $25 a week, which is $100 a month. It's going to require you learning how to do that, but I would look at a post and I would have a great message. You have to create an audience, which is absolutely amazing. So you want to look at an audience that actually is interested in body image, in food freedom, and food health and all this. So you want to put your content in front of them, and it's going to tell you for $25 we can reach like 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people.
Is it
And
targeted the same way Facebook targets?
it's actually by Facebook, so
Oh, so,
it's
okay,
it
similar.
actually Facebook bought Instagram, so it's the exact same audience. I mean, exact
Okay.
same criteria. So you can target people geographically, you can target people look-alike, you can people that like this and like that. I mean, I think that if you want to grow and if you're serious about growing your Instagram, there's definitely the time of researching and looking at people that are within your realm and engaging with them and offering stuff. But then the second thing is, actually, grow your audience by advertising. I think you're going to gain some, but people seeing your content say, well, I like that. I'll follow her. I'm seeing some stuff that's actually interesting. They're going to look at your profile. So, they're going to see who you are. Right now you have 290, so you need to grow
Yep.
yourself, get yourself to 1,000. Once you reach 1,000, it starts to be a healthy number.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Anyone can get to 300 followers without much effort. Which is what I
Mm-hmm.
have, what you have. So it's not much effort, and we have it. And then in order to grow, invest in in ads, and then with the ads, that's what's going to do it.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I had no idea how people were doing it, especially if, they're not necessarily celebrities or, I was like, how do people get to that point? So no, that really, really is helpful. And it helps me know that, there's work to do.
Yeah.
There's some research to do, preliminary.
Right.
And now I know how to do that. I mean, because it's when you just don't even know what to do, where to
hmm
start. So that really breaks it down and makes
There's one
sense.
magic bullet, and the magic bullet is an interview with Ellen DeGeneres or Oprah. That will do it
Yeah,
for you. That's going to be the magic bullet, right? That
right.
is going to
So it
grow
never
your
hurts to reach out to them. Their
right.
people
Exactly.
may say, hey.
I mean, you could reach out to Ellen DeGeneres, but you know what I'm saying. And she's got millions
Yeah,
of followers. It's like
exactly.
that's what I think the mistake of people, or they're going to people. Remember, you have zero leverage, so
Yes.
you want to reach of people that are within the realm. I mean, people that are like 2, 3, 5,000. This is a great fit for you because they're right there. They're trying to push, right? So you're
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I
Yeah.
want to help you out," and they'll be like, "Okay, cool. I'll take your help. Like, what do you got?" I says, "Well, I can do a video. I can come and offer a workshop for free, and then all of a sudden you're getting that exposure which you didn't have before.
Right.
You pay a little bit for for your ads, and you grow yourself 500 to 1,000. Once you start to get 1,000, you're going to see the more followers you get, and you start to gain with your hard work. You're going to start to have people say, "Huh, that's interesting." I mean, right now you got 290 followers. The good thing you got for yourself is you're going to have an amazing video reel.
Mm.
And I think your amazing video reel is something that people will click on, and I would have automatically in Julia Curry. By the way, I don't think it should be Julia Curry the website. I think it should be the video reel. I click on that, boom, I'm seeing the video reel.
Gotcha.
I
Yes.
would I would say view my video reel right there, and people are going to look at that and they're going to say, "Whoa, that's not that's professional.
Yeah. And I
That's
noticed
interesting."
another gal also had her YouTube channel, which
You
that's one of
can
the things I plan to.
Right, but actually, every time you have a piece of content or something new, you can leverage that. That's just something that people don't change enough, right? You
Okay.
you don't have to have Julia Curry here forever. You could have my video reel. You're gonna take
Yeah.
that video, you're gonna put it on YouTube and promote that for a little while, and then talk about that, and then find a way to create a square 30-second of your video reel for Instagram, and then
Mm.
promote that
Right.
for
Right. Okay.
25, $100. I would put $250. That video reel,
Yeah.
like people are going to look at that, is going to say, huh, put some words onto it, because people are not going to read. They're going to see you move, and then they're going to see some words that go on top, and they're going to say, oh, that's what she's talking about. Let me click, let me listen. Boom, you got them, right? So just remember the psychology. Like lots of people are going to look at the video without clicking on it. When they're on their phone, they're going to see stuff moving, and if it picks their interest, they'll click on, let me listen to that. But you
Okay.
can't assume that they're going to know. So that's what they're going to see. They're going to see your mouth moving, and they're like, I don't know. Next. So you put some words like you have here, forget her looks and everything. So, you have
Yeah.
you talking, and boom, forget her looks on top of that. They're saying, oh, that's what she's talking about.
Put the
You
words
gotta do
on.
some of that. But I would be promoting my video reel on Instagram and create, I don't know, out of that video reel, I would create easily 3 or 4 30-second snippets,
Okay.
square. So it's going to take
Uh-huh.
you like, having to edit that and doing this, and have that, and especially because they're going to have the video reel with the people that were in the audience and whatnot. So it's going to give
Hmm.
you really an amazing amount of credibility. They're going to say, wow, she's a trained professional speaker. She speaks in front of an audience. Like immediately, you know what I mean? It's just like it again. What that is the quality of the creative.
Yeah.
So you've invested some time. I know because I was there with you, right? You've
Yeah.
invested an enormous amount of time, blood, sweat, and tears,
Hmm.
and I know for a fact all of them. Uh, and yeah, I would leverage that big
Okay.
time, big time, especially for you, because that's gonna be like something like there. The truth of the matter with social media, and what all digital marketers like me will tell you, is that um, we so the quality of creative, everything that I told you is the theory, and then there is the practice. And the practice is that many times we do ads and they don't work, and we don't know why. We think they're good quality, it just didn't work, it didn't connect. So you have to be willing to try that hundreds of times. Let's do that, let's do that, let's do that, and all of a sudden, boom, you got one, and it's like, why did this one work and this one
Hmm.
didn't work? It's experts in psychology could explain to you, well, this one had a, like the way she made the eye contact connected with people immediately, like whatever, right? But it's like we don't have that type of thing. It's just like you have to be willing to do it over and over and over and over again. You're gonna pay some $25 with ads, and they'll give you shit. You'll get nothing, and you'll
Hmm.
be like, well, that was a waste of my $25. No, you just learned something, what not to
Huh.
do.
What not to do. So you got to keep going with it. Yeah.
You got to keep going with it and try it again. Like people are saying, so I have people say, I tried Facebook ad and it doesn't work. And the truth of the matter is it couldn't be further from the truth. And the same thing with Instagram. It's either two things. It's either a crappy creative, it's a shit piece of content. It's just not good. You got,
Hmm.
I create shit piece of content, and I'm in the business. Sometimes it's not good. It just didn't turn out good. Like that's the reality. And the second problem is the wrong target audience. So if you
Hmm.
put the wrong target audience with the wrong creative, then it's a double whammy. It's just not going to do great.
Hmm.
The
Right.
the what works is ideal target, and you can do that with which, by the way, you have to create multiple audience, because some are going to work better than others. You create an audience, she's like, oh, that's
Oh,
perfect.
okay.
So you have to
Mhm.
create a dozen audience, and you have to create a dozen creative, and kind of like try things. Let me try that creative with that audience, see if that works. No, it doesn't work. Let me try that creative with that audience. A little bit better. Okay, let me try this and that. Boom. I'm getting a
Yeah.
thousand views and 300 likes. Bingo. That's a formula that works. That's not the truth forever, but that's a formula that works. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And one last question. So with the
Mm-hmm.
research aspect, you talked about hiring out sometimes. Some people might have someone do their social media, which I've
Mm-hmm.
always just done my own. Um, do you ever recommend online places like Upwork or Fiverr to do that kind of research, or do you feel do you have any experience with
Yeah,
those?
absolutely. All of them are great options. Everything is a good option. You have to try things out. I have had crappy results with Fiverr and Upwork and whatnot, and I've had amazing results. So you have to be willing to try, and I highly recommend that. I mean, now in this global economy, you can find people. I have people that do some video editing for me there in Bulgaria. I'll admit it. And the reason why is because they're doing stuff that is very time consuming. I subcontract it to them. They turn it around in 24 hours. It's fairly inexpensive. And they do a good work. Now, I'm not asking them to do a creative for me. I'm just asking them to, do some cut and paste, some more time-consuming kind of like task. So I think it's amazing. The ultimate goal is you would have someone full-time that actually is trained and skilled in that, right? Which is going to cost you about 50 grand a year. 45 to 50 grand a year, right? So you're going to have to speak quite a bit, in order to being able to hire something like that. You can hire some agencies that will do some limited amount of work. I mean, agencies usually they'll, I will say, $1,500 a month. It's really on the low end, up to $3,000-$4,000 a month. So, that's kind of like the thing, but you're not going to get less volume, better quality, less volume. So it's a consideration. And when you first start, Upwork, you have to be you have to be willing to put in the hours to do the research, do the stuff you can delegate. But remember, digital marketing is about scaling the unscalable. Scaling the unscalable. It's extremely like all the big agencies and all the brands, they actually have people that are monitoring this, I wouldn't say 24/7, but they have people. My niece actually was one of 3 people managing social media for a brand. There's 3 of them.
Wow.
Full time. Yeah. That's all they did. So that's how they're dealing with it, because it's like, how do you scale this? Well, there's no magic bullet. There's no automation. There's no robots. There's none of this shit. Like, what it is actually doing the work, actually engaging. When someone posts a thing, oh, I forgot one. I had one amazing trick for you. I'm glad I remember it because I just saw the tab up top. And I've seen it done at several conferences. And I thought, I was like, oh, this is brilliant. Selfie time. One of your slide being selfie time. So you have to be strategic when you do it, whether you do it at the end. I actually have seen Hyan Cleary in San Diego doing right smack in the middle. He says, in the middle of like 1 hour speech, I know that halfway through, like people starting to daze off. So I was like, okay, we're going to take a quick 30-second break. And here's how we're going to do it. It's going to be selfie time, right? So it's like, okay, here's how we're going to do it, right? Everybody take a selfie. And then I want you to hashtag body image. And then I want you to put, add food freedom coach. And then I have, you're going to call, I have Antoine in the back of the room. He is going to pick randomly the best selfie, the goofiest one or the funniest one. And then I'll give you a copy of this book.
Oh, wow.
The entire room is doing this, right? So if you have, let's say 150 people in the audience, chances are you're going to get yourself 100 selfie. Right. So first of all, you got 100 selfie of body image of people, and they've associated at food freedom coach with your hashtag. So remember, it's important that I have at food freedom coach, right? Because that's how you're going to win the thing. So first of all, every single person has tagged you in the picture, and they're going to get a book. Now, what you're going to have to do is actually after that, going in your phone, and then reply to every single one of them. And say, thank you for coming. It was my pleasure to be of service to you today. And I look forward to seeing you again in another speech. That's it. You just thank them. What are the odds that person's going to follow you?
Pretty likely, I would say.
Pretty likely. Let's just say 50% of them, right? So you just gain 50 followers by just using the crowd, which, by the way, it's doing something that they want to do. It's kind of like fun. It's kind of cheesy. So you can find your own version of it. You give them a free book. You can give them a free webinar. You can give them, give them something in exchange for them to do it and, being fun. But I mean, the last one I was actually at, they didn't offer anything for free. And the entire room did it. They didn't offer anything. They'd just say, well, hashtag, I remember it was like a 4-letter word, hashtag this and do a picture. And someone did engage with me. And
Oh, cool.
someone, yeah, someone said, because they looked at what the hashtag, they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get to meet you, but thank you so much for coming." And I was like,
Using
smart.
that.
This smart, super smart. So guess what I did? I did follow that. I followed the organization, and I followed her.
Well, there you go.
Like
Brilliant.
it's super smart. So every time
Yeah.
you speak, you have an audience. You should say, okay, my goal is half of them are going to follow me, right? So you got
Mm.
100 people, you're going to get 50. So 290. Now I
Yeah, and
get
I
two,
wasn't even thinking about
and
Instagram,
that's
when I first speak.
and
Yeah,
they, yeah, all they want to do it, like you're here and whatnot, or or something, or if you have something emotional, you could talk about, like give a message. I did this and I did that. I used to this, but now I that. Just
hmm
spread the message. Whatever you are. So you gotta find it inside of what you do.
hmm
What you Julia does when she speaks and whenever you communicate, and then you do something. So I created a quick slide inside of my presentation. Selfie time. You have a picture that kind of like show, it's me that did a selfie, which is your latest post, and then you just give them instructions. Remember, as Michael Port say, just tell them what you need them to
hmm
do, repeat what you need them to do, and then confirm what you need them to do, like
Yes.
3 times, and then show them what they need to do, and then you'll
Yeah.
get the whole room to do it, because some people will be like, what's the hashtag, which is why you have that slide that I've created,
Fine.
which I would even better would be to actually take an Instagram thing with a picture of the selfie, the hashtag, like kind of like show them how it looks like. Give
Yeah.
them the time to do it, like 3-4 minutes and everything, and then you could say, okay, thank you, wasn't that fun? And then you say, by the way, stick until the end, because at the end of the presentation, Antoine will tell us who the winner is, because Antoine is in the back of the room, which is whoever you've asked to do that, and they'll be in the thing, they'll be looking at the thing, and they say, okay, Susan Sandler had the goofiest, picture and everything, so she won. Is Susan here? Yes, there you go. Boom, she got a book. Everybody's happy, and wasn't that cool? And there you go. And now remember one
Yeah.
of those things I remember. So that's in
That's great.
essence Instagram, how to grow your following. Did
Well,
that
thank you. Yeah.
did that make any sense, and did that provide value? Does that
Oh,
open up?
yeah. Absolutely. I feel like I know where to start now, and I've got a
Cool.
lot of research to do, and I know how to ask for help if and when I need it. And I know now even how to take it into my speaking world and grow in that way as well. So
Cool.
yeah, wonderful.
Thank
Great
you so
help.
much. Yeah, well, thank you so much, Julia. It was a delight to have you, and I wish you the best of luck with your
Thank you.
Instagram. And I can't wait to see you with 5,000 followers. Well, let's say in a few months, right?
Yes, that's right. Got work to do this summer.
Cool. Thank
Thank
you.
you.